It's been a minute. It has. Sorry about keeping you guys waiting. I just wanted to make sure that I had all of my stats correct and all of my notes straight. And then most importantly, I did have to wait for some of the money to come in for the donation. We'll do that at the end of the video. But hey, this is the recap of the entire 500 raids of summer deal, the whole effort, you know, the whole thing. So, that being said, I do have some interesting and fun stats to share with you guys as promised. So, first thing, I'm going to kind of do like a tier breakdown, and forgive me for referring to my notes. It's a little bit too much for me to memorize just off the bat. But as far as the tiers are set up, how many of each tier of raid did I do? And is there anything interesting going on there? Well, if you were like looking at the stat sheet, there's definitely one standout that's kind of like, huh, wonder what that's about. I'll tell you why once we get there. But I did accomplish 118 tier 1 raids, 87 tier 2 raids, 118 tier 3, 14 tier 4, that's the one, and then 155 tier 5 and 4 EX raids. Yes, my EX raid attendance was not so great, but I mean, more often than not, I kind of chose to prioritize like a gaggle of like 1 and 2 stars instead of attending an EX, just because, well, volume is volume when you're tracking volume, I suppose. Now, the one that I was really concerned with, that I was really proud of tracking, was my overall catch rate, which was 97.4%, which is like kind of wild for me. I guess in kind of retrospect, there were a couple of situations where I kind of counted a loss. There was one situation in particular where there was a Phoebus. It glitched out, it errored out, and I just ended up calling it a loss because I couldn't get back in, couldn't reconnect, whatever. Completed the raid, got all the Stardust and the experience and the items and stuff, just no Phoebus. So I guess that was a miss, but... as far as total XP goes, 4,167,000. Stardust, 780,000. And then for rare candy total, oh, this was sick. 931 rare candy. I was blessed this summer. Just made it rain, you know? All that Stardust, all that rare candy, loving it. But here's the big downside to this kind of approach to raiding. I only got 12 shinies. Now, that seems kind of low for 500, because it is. It's pretty low. But I was not really going after raids that had a shiny chance. So I would imagine that if I was exclusively doing those, if I was like only doing tier 1 raids, and if I wasn't doing like the tier 2s where they're really less prevalent as far as variety goes, I think that number would have been a little bit better, probably. But, you know, who can say? As far as shinies go, it's kind of hard to track. You know, did I come under odds? Did I come over odds? Especially when you're not, you know, really going after shiny exclusive chance Pokemon. As far as the raid days go, here's how I did for the 3 Legendary Dog raid days. For Raikou, I did 18. Suicune, also 18. And Entei, we ended up doing 23, which is pretty rad. The most rated Pokemon over the course of the summer of 2019 was 54 Rayquaza. Only came out with 1 shiny, but I'm happy I did. Who doesn't want as many Rayquazas as they can carry, huh? Second most, it's kind of a tie. 26 Alolan Raichu and Entei. Yes, I did pick up 3 more after they had that rotation of the Legendary Dogs come back for that 1 raid hour. So I picked up 3 during that. And the third most Pokemon caught, 21 Shinx. 21 Shinx. And I ended up getting, I think, 1 shiny from that. It was worth it, I swear. It was absolutely worth it. So as far as the shinies that I did get, right, the 12 shinies that I did manage to snag, 1 Suicune, 1 Rayquaza, as alluded to, 1 Alolan Exeggutor, 98%, y'all. Yeah. 1 Onix, 2 Entei, 1 Horsey, 2 Raikou, and 2 Kyogre, which is, I mean, I'm thrilled about getting those. So, I mean, 12, but at the same time, definitely a highlight. So one of the things that I wasn't actually tracking on the data sheet, but I was tracking for myself, was how many times people came up to me and asked for directions while I was out doing things. Because a lot of times I was in areas without a lot of other pogoers because I was, trolling around for tier 1 and tier 2 raids, like on the way home or around the park, and I ended up going to a few places that I normally would never have ended up going just because the raids were there and I had to get my numbers. I got asked for directions or was approached by strangers for some sort of interaction, was asking for help with something or verifying something or whatever. But that was, I think, 15 or 16 times that I got approached. So I don't know what that says. I mean, I like being an approachable human being, but at the same time, like, I don't know. Okay, to be fair, only twice that I was actually kind of uncomfortable about it. The other times, everybody was super nice. I think one of the things that's really great about Pokemon Go for me personally is that it allows for those sort of organic interactions that I normally would not have done, because as a gamer, I like to stay in, and play, other games inside my own house in my free time. And so this kind of being, out and about in the world, interacting with people, was a really great blessing in disguise of this entire effort. But enough about that. Let's get into the donation part of this video. So here we go.